Rock Zone. Kawan J.
DJ One. It's the group, homie. The mixtape show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mixtape Show. It is time for our Artist of the Week interview. And this week's Artist of the Week interview is brought to you by Mix Mafia DJs. Shout out to my sister, Angela Covington, for getting this one booked. And on the other line, checking in with us, man, she's a dope artist. And you're going to be hearing more music from her here in this show. Goes by the name of Keyshanna K, and she is rocking with us on the Mixtape Show. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm well. I'm so excited to be here. I'm just a little nervous, but I'm okay.
Nah, don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. We just kicking it like cousins. That's all.
Okay.
So I typically, as an icebreaker question, I like to ask this to kind of so we can get the audience a feel. Growing up, when you grew up, what was kind of like your soundtrack of some of your jams that you listened to coming up?
Oh man. Remember Changing Faces, I believe that was the name of the group. TLC, Destiny's Child, of course. And then because I used to do a lot of talent shows, so I would do some of their songs. And then like when I was in school, they had like a theme where we would do like Diana Ross and like kind of a throwback thing. So I like people from that era as well.
Okay. And where'd you grow up? What area we represent?
I grew up in Chester, Pennsylvania.
Okay, all right.
And Delaware. So I'm like from both.
All right, so that's two people I know from Delaware now that lived in Delaware. Though, and as far as music, what's your music background? I know you do a little bit R&B and everything like that. Did you do the traditional singing in church kind of thing?
Yes, I did. I definitely did the traditional gospel route. I started in the church as well. Yep, I was one of those girls.
And when did you at what point did you hit the part where you was like, you know what, I think I could do this professionally. I want to do this professionally.
When I was probably, I don't know. See, I've been singing and performing since I was a little girl, like 4 years old and up. So I don't know exactly. I guess when you were a child, you don't really realize that you're doing this professionally, because you would get, some offerings and things of that nature. But for me, it would probably be 18 years old.
Okay. And was that a kind of like a scary moment for you where you was kind of like, okay, now I want to expand my listenership? I'm used to being around people in my town, in my area. Now I want other people to hear me. How did that make you feel when you kind of made that decision?
At first I was a little nervous, a little skeptical, didn't think anyone would really like my music or would want to hear my sound. So I had to develop myself first before I can even put myself out there like that, because you open yourself for a lot of ridicule. You open yourself for positive as well as negative. So, you just got to be prepared mentally before you go ahead and be like, all right, I'm ready for this. It was a challenge, but it worked out.
And how would you describe your sound? What is a Keyshanna K? What's an experience like for the listeners?
I am a smooth, sultry alto, along with a neo soul feel, and then I have a gospel background, and I can do pop. So I really don't like to place myself into a box of what my sound is, because I can pretty much do anything. So especially me, I'm a perfectionist, and I love a challenge. So I'm in the middle of everything. I would love to do some more work in different genres so that my audience and my fans and listeners can hear that versatility.
And so you're like more like a soulful gumbo.
Yes, I like that. I'm gonna use that.
A little bit of everything.
Right.
And what are we working on right now? I know we got a couple singles that Ann sent us. Is all those singles part of a bigger project, or are you just kind of just doing the single thing right now?
No, I am working on a bigger project at this moment, but I do have a few singles out. I just released True Story last week, so anxious to see what the fans feel about that and where that stands.
Ancient True Story. Do we have a title yet for the actual
project? Nope, not yet. I want to see what it sounds like when all the music come together, and then I can sit down and be like, okay, this sounds like this, and then that way I can place a title with it.
Yeah, dope. So now let's talk, now that you've been doing this for a minute, recording everything like that. Now that
Mhm.
the world is starting to hear the music, what are you feeling now, where people are listening to the songs and giving you that feedback?
Um, I feel really happy. Like I don't know if I can speak for other artists, but I speak for myself where your music is like birthing a child. And when you develop that child for how many years it takes or how many months you take on a soundtrack or a single, you like, all right, I'm ready to put this out there and let's see how it's received. And when they love your child and they don't walk around and be like, how a child is not that attractive. You be like, oh, look at her little outfit. It's so cute. So they try to
She
be
got pretty
around the
hair.
right. So they're not doing that. They're like, oh, it's, I love it. I'm rocking with it. I'm playing it over and over again. And then the most feedback is what I've been getting is people are actually letting other people listen to my music. So
Mhm.
that's when you know that, okay, it's hitting home. When they like, oh, I had your music rocking all day. Oh, I just let my cousin listen to it, or they was listening to it. I had people at work listening to it. So that really is resonating with me. Like I'm in awe right now.
Yeah, definitely. When I heard the tracks, I was like, oh, but outside of my show, I have another
Right.
show called The Chill Out. That's more of a kind of like your vibe as far as your music on that. And then I have a
Hmm.
couple of DJs. I was like, I gotta send them these records because they'll definitely rock with these. So that's definitely
Thank
gonna be
you.
in the email right after this interview. For
Thank you.
sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So tell me about we've been dealing with this COVID situation here for about a
Mhm.
year and a half now. Has that kind of helped you as far as locking down and really focusing on the creation process?
Yes, in the beginning, it definitely was a big help because we weren't able to do anything, go anywhere. So it was just like, okay, you're stuck in this one place. Let's write. Let's get some creativity moving and let's take advantage of this opportunity and this time. And I feel like that this is the season of reconnecting because we're all trying to place all of 2020 into 21.
Mhm.
So it's allowing us to really, especially as artists, to branch out and just really see where we can go because everybody's on top of everything. It's like we're thirsty for live entertainment. We're thirsty for new music because
Mhm.
we weren't able to have that. So I'm really feeling like the stars have aligned for this moment.
Yeah. And tell us about what does your show look like if you had a live show? What could we expect from that?
I just had a live show in New York actually last Sunday, two Sundays ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little skeptical, a little nervous because like I said, this was the first time me performing again. And when I tell you it was just ridiculous, like the love that I got, it was bananas. Like after the show, I couldn't even get off the stage. Like I was being bum rushed and with such love and like, oh my God, that was so great. And like again, it just was an aha moment. So the experience of my show would be like, all right, let's go. It's a whole vibe. Like we ready to rock. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of just heartfelt, great music. So I would recommend somebody come out to my next show, which will be July 2nd at Milk Boy Studios
Okay.
in Philadelphia.
Nice.
Yes.
Dope. So the R&B now commercial wise, it's not really R&B.
No,
You know what I
no.
mean? Um, and with artists like yourself, and I actually work with another artist. He's an R&B artist, Jay Waiters. You guys just like I said, I'm not even a full day and listening to these three songs. Um, it's dope to hear and refreshing to hear that kind of traditional R&B kind of making a comeback. How do you feel like now that you kind of stand out now in the way that people perceive R&B music right now?
Yes, because we have allowed hip hop and other genres to blur our line with
Mm,
R&B. So it's like kind of hard to distinguish what R&B is now.
mm,
So when I make my music, I'm only making it from my heart. I'm not making it for what sounds good or what's popular right now. So and I grew up in the 90s. I mean, I was born in the 80s, but I grew up in 90s R&B. So
mm.
that's what I love. That's what I want to hear. But I kind of want to put that new swing onto it as well, but I still want to keep it traditionally R&B.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I mean, like it's like it does sound different, and sometimes it can be discouraging because it doesn't sound like what's on the radio. But
Yeah.
like then I wouldn't be doing my job then if I don't make music that doesn't sound like what's for music for tomorrow.
Yeah. For me, the moment I'm like you, I was born in 79, so grew up
Mhm.
in the 80s, 90s. So for me, the moment that really defined when, like you said, that switch happened over where hip hop and R&B became like a one thing. And it's
Mhm.
I would say Mary J, but I would say when she did the joint with Method Man, that All I
Yes.
Need, that's when
Yes.
it started to me. That's when that was like the first official, like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm with you on that. I'm with you
yeah.
on that. And she gained a great fan base because of that though. Like
Hmm.
she is a legend because she was able to do the R&B and hip hop side.
Hmm.
So, I mean, if it's done right, it's fine, but
Yeah.
you can't lose that R&B sound at the same process because you want to be with the hip hop.
Yeah. And then you got a lot of the rappers who want to be singers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. With auto tune and a lot of singers who can't sing without it. So,
Yeah.
here we are.
It's just a big mess right now.
Yes, yes.
So what else is on your bucket list that we really want to knock out this year?
I want to do some more acting. I did do film in probably like 2 months ago. And I really loved it. I love being on set. I love the experience. I love the atmosphere and I love meeting the new people and just trying it out. So I'm like, I really want to try acting again. I want to go abroad and sing. So, those are a few things that are on my bucket list as well.
How about starring in the movie and then you can actually
Do the soundtrack.
do the soundtrack too. That'd be a dope combination,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes, yes. That would be really dope. I'm with that.
And I know you
Because
said you
the
was
song,
no good.
I'm sorry.
No good, good.
The movie that I just did, I do have a couple songs on the soundtrack. I'm not doing the whole soundtrack, but I do have a few on it. So that was a great experience as well.
Yeah. So I know you said you're a perfectionist. How many times do you battle yourself when you're recording, or even now with the acting thing? How much internal fighting are you doing with yourself?
Um, I can't even talk about that. It's a lot. Like I battle myself all the time. I go back and back and back and forth. Like, okay, let's change this, or okay, that needs to be different. I don't like
Mhm,
that sound. Let's put this beat here. Let's put this kick here. All right, take that out. Like like I'm just
mhm,
basically going back and forth. But I try to say, okay, this is enough.
mhm.
I have to make myself say that, or I'll do it all the time, and it just never will be finished if I keep battling myself. So I have to just really talk to myself, like, okay, it's good.
It can be torture sometimes, right?
Yes, it can be.
Definitely, definitely. Well, I'll tell you what. I always tell everybody who comes on the show, once you're on the show, you're officially alumni and you family. If you got, whenever that project is finally put together and we do what we call a mixtape show listening sessions. And we do the same thing, kind of have an interview a little bit more long form, but it's us kind of breaking down that project. I would love to have you back and
Right.
kind of talk about that, and we can kind of pick your brain a little bit about some of the tracks on there.
Oh yeah, I would love to do that.
Definitely,
Thank you.
definitely,
That would be
definitely. Just
awesome.
because I'll follow you here in all your social medias because I didn't get done with that yet. And then you can reach out to me,
Okay.
reach out to Ange, and just like, hey, I got the project done. Let's talk about it, and we'll bring you back, no problem, definitely.
Okay.
Social media. What's the best way we can follow your journey?
I am on IG as the official Keyshanna K, Twitter Keyshanna KK, Facebook Keyshanna K, and YouTube Keyshanna K. And it is spelled the way it's pronounced KeyShanna.
Yeah,
K.
no funny spellings, right?
No, my mom, she was dead serious.
So, final question I like to ask everybody this: at the end of the day, let's say they're writing a chapter about your career in the
Mhm.
book of hip hop, the book of R&B, whatever it is. What would you want your chapter to say as far as your contribution to the industry and the culture?
Um, I wanted to say that she left it all on the table. Um, she always made sure that I learned. Like I always keep learning and keep moving forward. I never stay stagnant. Um, that I try to give back to my community in the music industry as well, like teaching the young people, like, don't get abused by the music industry. Always stay abrupt on everything that's new or on your paperwork and everything that's going on around you. Don't be dumb. Like, don't silence yourself. Make sure
Mm.
you know everything that you need to know.
Yeah, don't play the naive role, right? Like it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's it's 90% business and 10%
right.
entertainment is what they say. So definitely.
Definitely.
So real quick too, because you kind of touched on something I forgot to ask. With this being the type of industry it is, and it's all about numbers and it's all about how people look and how this, that, and the other. How do
Mhm.
you kind of try to stay away from that stuff and keep centered and focus on what you got to focus on? Is that a difficult thing for you?
No, I just stay true to who I am and to my brand. Like I even before me being a musician, I always, as a regular person, I stay true to who I am. Like I don't try to be nobody else. I don't try to go into nobody else's lane. So I transcend that into my music and who I am as an artist. I just stay, I don't care about what's going on around me. I am Keyshanna K. Like I can't be nobody else. Like once you start struggling and try to learn how to do this way and try to be like somebody else and step on their toes in their journey, like that was meant for them. That's not meant for you.
Yeah.
So you have to stay true to who you are.
And you have the beauty of being an independent artist, right? You can do what you want to do when you want to do.
Exactly. And I'm loving this era because, we didn't have this. I know, maybe a different era when you were growing up, but I really did not have all of this information and all of this access to people at our fingertips that we do right now. Like this is amazing. This is a great time for artists. So I really urge people to take advantage of this.
Yeah. It's like you said, with technology and information being available now, it really exposes that the only difference between the artist who's been signed and the artist who are independent is just the money that was backing them. Like everybody has access to the same information. Everybody can distribute now you can self-distribute your own music and all that kind of stuff. It's just the money that's backing those artists that they got to turn back and give to the labels, 3 and 4 times over after the fact.
And then they begin to own your royalties and they begin to own your masters and all these things of that nature because you allow that backing. I mean, it's not bad, but you have to use it to your best of advantage and use it as a stepping stone instead of like, this is it.
Yeah. Did you have you talked with any artists who may have been signed to major labels before and they kind of gave you some horror stories? And you ain't gotta give no names, but just kind of you've heard the horror stories and you're like, yeah, I think I'm gonna stay in this lane right here.
Yeah, I have heard the horror stories and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stay in this lane right here. Yeah. Like I'm okay with that. If I'm offered something I feel like it's feasible and I feel like the paperwork is right, then that's a different story. But until then, I will be independent.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard forgot which artist it was, but he's an independent artist and he's I think it's Troy Ave. He's a hip hop artist out of Brooklyn. And he's totally independent. He says, the difference for him is like being independent and being signed is like, think of it like a restaurant that you're the owner of the independent restaurant but you're also the cook. You're also the busboy. You're also the you do all of the hard work, but at the end of the day, you get all of the money. So,
I like that.
It's more work, but definitely it benefits you more in the end on the back end.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. I love that. That is so true though.
Definitely. Well, it's been fun talking. Like I said, whenever the project is done, or even if you release new singles or videos and you want to talk about it, man, reach out to Ange, reach out to me, and we'll bring you back. It's definitely a dope conversation. And I just love opening the door for independent artists like yourself. And I love just chopping it up with people like you, who just keep it real. And that's what we ask for, just keep it real.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Anybody want to shout out before we get out of here?
Shout out to Ange, shout out to Judah Priest, shout out to a couple of artists that I am working with right now, and shout out to my babies, my 2 lovely little girls. So that's about it.
Is school out for you guys yet?
Not yet, 14.
Today's the last day for my son. He's done with kindergarten and he's literally chomping at the bit to be done. Like
this is my daughter, she'll be starting kindergarten this year, and then I have a 10-year-old, so
Yeah, it's a journey. It's definitely a journey.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't have this grade before he was here.
Right. I blame it all on them.
Definitely. Well, Keyshanna, thank you for joining us. And like I said, your family now, your alumni, and then anytime you got anything that's going on, just let us know and we'll bring you back. All right.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back.